You won't believe what happened when a homeless woman approached Barron Trump, the son of one of the most influential figures in the world, asking for just $5. What he did next is something no one expected, and it left everyone in shock. It all started on a chilly evening in New York City. Barron, dressed casually and trying to keep a low profile, was walking through the streets. Despite his upbringing in immense wealth and privilege, he often ventured out alone, seeking normalcy in a world that rarely granted him that. On this particular day, a homeless woman caught his eye. She looked exhausted, sitting on the cold pavement with a small cardboard sign that read, "Please help us." Next to her sat a young girl, no older than 7, clutching a thin blanket around her shoulders. The woman, noticing Barron walking by, mustered the courage to speak up. "Excuse me, young man," she said softly. "Can you spare $5? My daughter and I haven't eaten all day." At first, Barron paused. To those watching, it seemed like he might ignore her and continue walking. But what happened next stunned everyone nearby. Without hesitation, Barron crouched down to her level. He didn't pull out his wallet right away. Instead, he asked gently, "What's your name?" The woman, startled by his kindness, replied, "My name is Sarah, and this is my daughter, Lily." Barron smiled warmly. "It's nice to meet you, Sarah, and you too, Lily." Instead of giving her the $5 she had asked for, Barron did something extraordinary. He reached into his pocket and handed her a crisp $100 bill. But that wasn't all. "Wait here," he said, before disappearing into a nearby building. Sarah watched in disbelief as he returned minutes later with 2 large bags of groceries, a hot meal for her and Lily, and a thick blanket to keep them warm. As he handed everything over, he said, "This is for now, but I want to do more for you. Where can I reach you?" Sarah, overwhelmed with emotion, gave him the address of a local shelter where she sometimes stayed. What happened next shocked not only Sarah, but also everyone who heard about it. The next day, a team arrived at the shelter with a message from Barron. He had arranged temporary housing for Sarah and Lily, covering their rent for the next 6 months. Along with this, he connected Sarah to a job training program and ensured Lily had access to school supplies and resources. Sarah and Lily were overwhelmed with gratitude when the team explained what Barron had done. For a woman who had faced rejection and hardship for months, this act of kindness felt like a miracle. The temporary housing wasn't just a roof over their heads, it was a fully furnished apartment in a safe neighborhood. For the first time in months, Sarah felt a sense of stability. As they stepped into their new home, Sarah couldn't hold back her tears. The apartment had everything they needed: clean beds, a stocked fridge, warm blankets, and even a small desk with coloring supplies for Lily. For Lily, it was more than a new home. It was a fresh start. But Barron didn't stop there. He made sure Sarah felt supported on every front. The job training program he had arranged was tailored to her needs, helping her refresh her skills in administration and prepare for job interviews. She also received a wardrobe makeover with professional outfits that gave her confidence she hadn't felt in years. At first, Sarah hesitated to believe it was real. "Why would someone like him do this for us?" she thought to herself. But as the days went by, she realized that Barron's actions were genuine, driven by a sincere desire to help. Meanwhile, Lily was thriving too. The team delivered a backpack filled with school supplies, colorful notebooks, pencils, and even a tablet to help with online learning. For a child who had spent so much time on the streets, this gesture was life-changing. Lily couldn't stop smiling as she explored her new room, which had a small bookshelf stocked with storybooks and a stuffed bear sitting on her bed. A few days later, Sarah received another surprise. Barron had arranged for her to meet with a career counselor who worked one-on-one with her to identify her strengths and passions. During their sessions, Sarah shared her dream of starting her own small business, a dream she had buried long ago when life became too hard. Barron's team didn't just listen, They acted. They helped Sarah enroll in a business course at a local community center, covering her tuition fees. Slowly but surely, Sarah began to regain her confidence and hope for the future. And while all of this was happening, Barron stayed in touch. He didn't want Sarah and Lily to feel forgotten or like they were just a charity case. He called to check in, offering words of encouragement and reminding them they had someone rooting for them. One day during a phone call, Sarah finally asked him the question that had been on her mind. "Barron, why did you do all of this for us? You didn't have to." His answer was simple. "Because I could," he said, "and because I believe everyone deserves a chance to get back on their feet. Sometimes we just need someone to believe in us." As weeks turned into months, Sarah began to see real change in her life. She completed her job training and landed a position as an office manager at a small firm. The steady income allowed her to save for the future and start dreaming again. Lily, now enrolled in school, was flourishing academically and socially. Sarah noticed a glow returning to Lily's face, one she hadn't seen in years. Lily began to make friends at school, something that had been almost impossible during their time on the streets. Her teachers often praised her for her curiosity and eagerness to learn. Sarah couldn't help but feel a swell of pride each time Lily came home with a gold star or an excited story about her day. At work, Sarah excelled. Her colleagues admired her work ethic and attention to detail, unaware of the incredible journey that had brought her there. Over time, she gained more responsibilities and was eventually promoted to lead a small team. It was more than just a job. It was a second chance to prove to herself that she was capable and resilient. One Friday evening, Sarah sat down with Lily to discuss a special plan. "Lily," she said, "you know how Mr. Barron helped us when we needed it the most?" Lily nodded, her eyes lighting up. "He's like a real-life superhero, Mommy." Sarah laughed softly. "He is. And now that things are getting better for us, I think it's time we start finding ways to help others too. What do you think?" Lily's face lit up with excitement. "Like helping kids who don't have homes?" "Exactly," Sarah said. "We can't change the whole world, but we can start by making a difference in someone else's life, just like Mr. Barron did for us." That weekend, Sarah and Lily visited the local shelter where they once stayed. They brought along bags of clothes and toys that Lily had outgrown, hoping to give other children a little bit of joy. It was a small gesture, but the smiles on the children's faces reminded Sarah of how far she and Lily had come. Inspired by their experience, Sarah decided to take things a step further. She started a community outreach initiative at her workplace, encouraging her colleagues to donate time, money, or resources to help families in need. To her surprise, many of them were eager to get involved. Within weeks, Sarah's initiative blossomed into a full-fledged volunteer program. Employees organized food drives, fundraising events, and mentorship sessions for people looking to rebuild their lives. Sarah found herself becoming a leader, not just at work, but in her community. One day, Sarah received a phone call from a local journalist who had heard about her efforts. "Your story is truly inspiring," the journalist said. "Would you be willing to share it with our readers?" At first, Sarah hesitated. She wasn't used to being in the spotlight, but then she remembered Barron's words. "Sometimes we just need someone to believe in us." She realized that by sharing her journey, she could inspire others to believe in the power of kindness. The article's success didn't just bring attention to Sarah, it ignited a movement. Emails poured in from people who had been inspired by her story to make changes in their own lives. Some offered donations, others volunteered their time, and many shared their own experiences of struggle and perseverance. Sarah felt overwhelmed but deeply grateful for the opportunity to turn her pain into purpose. The local philanthropist who had reached out was a woman named Eleanor Hayes, a retired business executive who had dedicated her later years to charitable work. Eleanor invited Sarah to lunch at a cozy cafe to discuss potential collaborations. Your story touched me deeply, Eleanor said, stirring her tea thoughtfully. You've taken a difficult situation and turned it into something extraordinary. I want to help you take your vision even further. Sarah hesitated, still adjusting to the idea of being seen as a leader. I'm grateful for your support, but I'm not sure how to scale this. I'm just one person. Eleanor smiled. That's the beauty of community, Sarah. You don't have to do it alone. With the right resources and people by your side, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Together, they brainstormed ways to expand the outreach program. Eleanor's foundation provided funding for a new initiative called Second Chances, which aimed to offer job training, housing assistance, and mentorship for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. Sarah was placed at the helm of the project, a role she embraced with a mixture of excitement and determination. Under Sarah's leadership, Second Chances grew rapidly. Community centers were established in several neighborhoods, providing safe spaces for people to access resources and build connections. Sarah also worked closely with local businesses to create employment opportunities for program participants. Lily, now a confident and compassionate young girl, often accompanied her mother to events and volunteer activities. She became a symbol of hope for other children in the program, proof that even the youngest lives could be transformed through kindness and opportunity. One evening, as Sarah was preparing for a gala to celebrate the success of Second Chances, she received an unexpected phone call. "Sarah, it's Barron." "Barron," Sarah exclaimed, her face lighting up. "It's so good to hear from you. How have you been?" "I've been well," he replied. "I've been following the incredible work you've been doing. It's amazing to see how far you've come." Sarah felt a surge of emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you, Barron. You believed in us when no one else did." Barron's voice softened. "I just gave you a little push, Sarah. You did the hard work. And now, I want to do more to support your mission." Barron offered to sponsor a scholarship fund for children in the program, ensuring they had access to quality education and the chance to pursue their dreams. The Lily Trump Scholarship was launched soon after, named in honor of Lily's courage and resilience. The gala that evening was a resounding success. Leaders from across the community came together to celebrate the impact of Second Chances and the lives it had transformed. As Sarah took the stage to deliver her speech, she felt a wave of gratitude for everyone who had supported her journey. "Tonight, we're not just celebrating the success of a program," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We're celebrating the power of compassion, resilience, and belief. None of us can succeed alone, but together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive." The audience erupted into applause, their faces glowing with admiration and hope. Among them was Barron, sitting in the front row with a proud smile. After the event, Barron approached Sarah and Lily, his eyes shining with sincerity. "You two have inspired me more than you'll ever know," he said. Lily beamed up at him. "You're the one who inspired us, Mr. Barron." Barron chuckled, kneeling to Lily's level. "Then I guess we've inspired each other." As the years went on, Sarah's work continued to expand. She collaborated with other organizations, spoke at conferences, and even published a book about her journey. The proceeds went directly to funding Second Chances and other community initiatives. Lily grew into a bright and driven young woman, determined to follow in her mother's footsteps. She dreamed of becoming a social worker, eager to help others find the hope and support they needed. One day, as Sarah and Lily were walking through the bustling streets of their city, they passed a woman sitting on the sidewalk with a sign that read, "Homeless, hungry, please help." Lily paused, looking up at her mother. "Can we help her, Mommy?" Sarah knelt beside the woman, offering her a warm smile and a small envelope containing cash and a note with contact information for Second Chances. "We've been where you are," Sarah said gently, "and I promise you things can get better. You're not alone." The woman's eyes filled with tears as she accepted the envelope. "Thank you," she whispered. As Sarah and Lily walked away, hand in hand, Sarah felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The road hadn't been easy, but every challenge, every setback, and every moment of doubt had led to this, a life filled with purpose and the opportunity to make a difference. Barron, watching from afar, couldn't have been prouder. He knew that his small act of kindness years ago had sparked something extraordinary. Because in the end, it wasn't just about the $5 that Sarah had asked for, it was about the ripple effect of compassion and the unbelievable impact of one young man's choice to care. Sometimes, the smallest gestures lead to the greatest transformations. And as Sarah, Lily, and Barron continued to inspire others, their story became a testament to the power of hope, humanity, and the magic of believing in one another. Barron Trump's most remarkable legacy is a simple, yet powerful reminder that the smallest acts of kindness can spark the most incredible transformations. So the next time you see someone in need, whether it's a homeless person or someone struggling, remember Sarah's story. A simple gesture can change the course of a life. After all, you might just be the person who makes a world of difference in someone else's journey. And that's the story of how a young man's kindness created a ripple effect that reached far beyond what he could have ever imagined. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and share it with your friends. Let's spread the message that kindness is a force that can change the world, one small action at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.